guys, I hope you're all doing well. I'm coming to you with my review on two really exciting new products from Black Radiance, and that is their True Complexion CC palette. CC stands for color correction, and their True Complexion loose setting powder. Alright, so let's get down to the logistics. We'll go ahead and start with the palette. I purchased both of mine from Rite Aid. Have my receipt. Now, just to be clear, Rite Aid is up there with CVS when it comes to prices. Walgreens is always cheaper for me, and the cheapest is usually Walmart or Amazon, so keep that in mind. The loose powder was $7.99, and this CC palette was $9.99. So, but it is drugstores. Oh, there was dollar off coupons attached to both of these, so yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into it. So their True Complexion is a complete line of products from their foundation, their pressed powder, their soft focus finishing powder, which is like a favorite of mine. So it's like a line of their things. Anyway, this is the CC palette, and I'm just going to read you the back of it. It says an all-in-one palette to correct discolorations, contour, and brighten skin. To use, apply directly onto imperfections for targeted spot coverage, okay? And it has on the back here just what the colors are used for. So you have this yellowish shade here is for highlighting and brightening, and then you have the two peachy shades here, which are for concealing dark circles, brown spots, and hyperpigmentation. And then you have all these concealer shades down here, medium to deep shades, neutralize imperfections and discoloration. Now, this palette is called, I picked up the medium to deep, if you can see that. Yeah, medium to deep. There is a light to medium version, and in my opinion, the light to medium version, the difference between the light to medium and the medium to deep is it's really vast. It's a really large difference, and the light to medium could be used for definitely Caucasian skin, not just lighter women of color, if that makes any sense. So that's something to take note, and there are only two options, light to medium and medium to deep. I had this complaint with their contour kits that I wish they threw in some sort of mid-range situation at least, like separate these a little bit more. Anyway, so let's get into this palette. You get this just simple plastic compact. Black Radiance is owned by the same Marquins, which is the same company that makes Wet n Wild, so a lot of their packaging might seem similar. But anyway, you get 9 shades in here, and I have them all swatched on the back of my hand. You get this yellow shade. Again, you get 2 peachier shades. This one's definitely more of a coral peach. I don't know how washed out it is on camera. And this is a deeper, deeper peach. And then these are all what I would call skin tone concealer shades. Not necessarily my skin tone, but you have the lightest one here that I would use to like highlight and brighten. This one's more of my skin tone, and then these are a little bit deeper. So here's the swatches. I have them on the back of my hand here. I don't know why I didn't move my mirror out of the way before I decided to film this video. I have them on the back of my hand here. So we see here. So what I want to first point out is what I like about this palette. So I like the idea for 10 bucks or less, you have a variety of concealer shades to try. If you don't know your concealer shade, if you want to get into the cream contouring highlighting thing, you can mix shades. I definitely think this works for that. Also, this palette has a variety of undertones in it, which I can appreciate. So if you look at my hand here, let me stop bumping things. Okay, move my mirror out of the way. So if you look at my hand here, you see with the peachy shades, but then you see we have some cool, warm and neutral undertones sitting in these concealer shades, which I can appreciate, especially for the undertones. I can appreciate, of course, you can't fit every skin tone and undertone, everything in one palette, especially at this price point and just what this is meant to be for $10, but that is definitely a significant start when it comes to like these palettes in the drugstore. I can really appreciate the variety of undertones in it. Now, we're going to go ahead and there's a fly in here. We're going to go ahead and get into the formula of this palette. It's one of those swimmers where it's not my favorite, but it's not my least favorite. It does the job. It does conceal. I would give this a medium-ish coverage. Definitely not a full coverage concealer. But with that being said, I think it works well to have these concealers in a palette with some color correctors, because if you use these color correctors before you conceal, then you have a full coverage concealer. Does that make sense? So like right now, today, I'm wearing this concealer shade, but I'm not wearing any color corrector. Now, I don't know if I know my face better. You might think, Candace, it looks fine. But I can still see my dark cavern area. But when I use these concealers over the color correcting part, get a lot more look at what I'm going for. So with that being said, the formula it's not the thinnest. I was expecting it honestly to be a lot thinner than what it is. The pigmentation is there as decent as you can see from these shades. It is a thinner formula, so it is comfortable on the skin. However, it is thin enough where you need to set each layer. So if you are color correcting with these top shades up here or whatever, you need to set those with a powder before you go to put a concealer or whatever on top. I know I do that because I do color correction on my under eyes before I even do foundation or anything like that. And then I set with and then I go in with concealer to brighten and all those things. So if you're one of those people that do that, when you put these color correctors on, and even though you blend them out, I will still set them with a powder, because this is emollient enough where it's going to mix with whatever next layer you put on your face. So that's something you might want to consider. I would not just do the color corrector, then the concealer. You would need a barrier of powder in between them, from what I have experienced with this. Yeah, on a letter grade, I would definitely give this probably a B minus in scale of products and things like that, because that variety of undertones really speaks to me. I can really appreciate it. Also, with the deeper skin, this one here, definitely cool tones to contour. If you want a cream contour, some of these palettes call them contour and conceal and highlight, and that deeper shade, while it's deep, it's not cool. So that's something that I can appreciate that they thought about. Now, the reason why it gets a B minus, it might be a C plus actually. Depending on, I don't know my letter system yet, if I'm curving these grades or not. But two things about it. Black Radiance is a company that is specialized for women of color. It's supposed to be for deeper skin tones, if you will, which nothing is wrong with that. But I still think, because of the variety of deeper skin tones, that there needs to be a little bit more inclusiveness, in the sense of, there's two palettes, a light to medium and a medium to deep. Why can't you have a light, a medium, and just a little bit more? Even with their contour palettes, they come out with 2 shades. Even with their soft focus finishing powder, my favorite powder, it's only 3 shades of it. Like, and the darkest shade is me. It's my skin tone. So a little bit more inclusiveness. This is, you know, a step in the right direction, this whole line with their foundations and everything, obviously. But when it comes to like this would be great, because again, it's not like that super full coverage. Everyone doesn't like super full, thick camouflaging concealers, and I think this is a good average concealer palette, in the sense of if you don't want too much but you still want something there, because this definitely covers. Again, I prefer color correction and the concealer, but if you don't have anything to color correct, if you don't have any deep dark things and you just want the concealers, I think they're great for that. But you're talking like, this is the deepest shade, this is the deepest palette, and this is the deepest shade. Yeah, it's cool and it's great for contour, but this is not the deepest. You can go a little bit deeper. You understand what I'm saying? There are brands that aren't formulated specifically for women of color that can go deeper. So you, in the drugstore, L'Oreal True Match, I'm looking at you, you can go deeper. So that's something that I wanted to say about that. But that's my feelings on that palette. So, moving on to the True Complexion Loose Setting Powder. Okay, this was $9.99 at Rite Aid. Again, it had a coupon on the front of it. And this is the only shade that they have, and it's the shade Banana. It's labeled 8040 Banana. So it's a yellow tone. That yellow tone is supposed to be like setting, baking powder, if you will. Yeah, and this is the only tone that they have in this setting powder. It's not like they come in different shades. So, first off, again, $9.99, you get this big container. I love it. I love like this type of packaging. But don't be fooled, because in here is only 0.7 ounces, which is still a lot. Like, you're not using a lot of loose setting powder. No one does, but with that being said, and it's $9.99, that equates to about, I did the math, that equates to about $11.15, I'm sorry, per ounce. With something like the La Mercier, it's $38 an ounce, but you are getting a whole ounce. You also, like I was just doing some price comparison, the Sacha Buttercup powder is 1 ounce as well, and this is about 20 bucks. And then you get the Maybelline Fit Me that's in the drugstore as well, and it is the same amount of product that is in here, and it is $5. So just to give you some price comparisons or whatever. Now let's talk about the product. Okay, you get, oh, it's gonna get everywhere. The lid, look at that. The lid screw, let me calm down. The lid screws off. It screws off. And there is a sifter in here. But this is my complaint. This is a packaging flaw. It comes with this sponge applicator. Who applies, I guess you can apply powder with a sponge, like, but rather a puff maybe. I don't know, whatever. It comes with this. But it's a sifter in here. And it's the powder. This sifter's holes are entirely too big for how thin this powder is. I peeled like that plastic cover and I should have kept it to, did I throw it away? My vanity has been a mess for like 2 weeks. I got packaging and everything everywhere. But anyway, the holes are too big for how fine this powder is. So now when I open it up, as you saw the cloud, all this is at the top, and you kind of got to pat the container to get it all settled back in, and it's flying everywhere. You don't need that big of a sifter hole for how fine this powder is, and a lot of my powders have that problem. Even the La Mercier one, actually the La Mercier, yeah, no, they're large too. So that's something that I guess is across the board when it comes to these powder sifters. The holes are entirely too big for how thin that powder is. I want to be able to like shake some in my lid and use it. But if I shake some in the lid and open this, like, it's going to be all of it. It's too much. With that being said, that is pretty much the only thing I dislike about this powder. This powder is a very nice. It's very finely milled. It's, let me just pick up some. Really, really finely milled. Yeah, really finely milled, really, it's not, it doesn't feel silicone-y, if you will. It feels more of, like, what is the word I'm looking for? More of a natural powder feel. Doesn't feel silicone-y. Anyway, I use this powder just exclusively under my eyes. I don't use yellow-based powders all over my face. You can tell right now how bright. I like a brightening, warm under eye, and this is giving me that. Let me just show you how well it like dusts away and everything. So, a live demonstration. All right. So even with baking, like I'm not going to bake this, but even with baking, you put a lot of, it's so finely milled that sometimes with the, not the banana powder, but sometimes with my Sacha Buttercup powder, as well as my, oh my God, what is that? Can't think of the name right now. But another yellow powder that I have, they bake really well and leave my under eye looking flawless, but they leave that cast behind and I have to cover it or like really wipe all of it off or usually cover it with another powder like to blend the colors together. However, this one, I'm gonna put this over my makeup, over my daily, all day wearing this makeup, and I'm going to put this under the eye. And I'm going to dust. And it's genuinely transparent. But look how brightening that eye got. It's genuinely like that transparent, that's the word I'm looking for, translucent powder. But it sets, one, doesn't look like an old lady under your eye. Two, and it, oh my God, brightens. And so I can really appreciate that. So I guess it's not fully translucent because it's doing something to that brightness. Yeah, so I really can enjoy that. The amount, I'm never going to run out. I thought I'd explain the price per ounce because you might get fooled because this is such big packaging compared to like the La Mercier. This is bigger packaging. And I just wanted you to know that you still get a significantly less amount. in there. So that's something that you might want to take consideration of. But again, even if you bought a full ounce, it would only cost you $11 versus $38 with Laura Mercier. And then the Maybelline Fit Me, I have a couple of these powders. I really like these powders, but there's not a true yellow one. I bought a couple. I have like 2 or 3 of these powders that I like to use for my under eye. But again, they're not that true yellow, baking, brightening, under eye, all that type of stuff. They do well used with a brush as well as a beauty blender as far as the Black Radiance powder. No issues there. I'm really happy that Black Radiance came out with something like this. I definitely can appreciate it. I don't have anything else to say about it, do I? No. I don't have anything else to say about it. I like the way it sets my makeup. I enjoyed it. So, yeah. That's all I have to tell you guys. I guess this one's going to be an A. A minus because of this packaging. But, that's my review on the new Black Radiance products. I'll link them down below on the Black Radiance site. I don't order from there. I've never ordered from there. I get mine from my local drugstores. So, yeah. Or maybe I'll link the best site that I find that has the best price. I'll link that. But yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns about any of the products mentioned in the video, feel free to leave it down below. I love you all, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.